As soon as I slapped him, I mean, and he went down, it was almost like a manifestation, right? I went there as jokes, and then everything came into fruition a few seconds rather to make those split decisions, whether you're hitting high or hitting low. So I'd say in both senses, danger comes with all these sports of physical, but it was super humbling, super exciting to be there, and just the environment. Everyone was super nice, very respectful.
All right, guys, this is Crazy Kev here, and I'm here with Power Slapper, Mr. Nate, the Buffalo Soldier Bernard. How we doing, my man?
Yeah, how we doing?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. And Nate, man, talk to us a little bit more about kind of how you got into Power Slap and what's maybe next for you.
Awesome. So pretty much, it's been it's been a wild ride. So now at it for a year. I uh, I was at the house. My folks went ahead, called me, and said, "Hey, come over tonight for dinner. Let's go eat some food and stuff." I'm all right, cool. So I go over there. We're eating some food, and our family's big on watching movies or shows together and stuff. And so after dinner, we're watching shows, and my sister went ahead on YouTube. And then next thing you know, we're just kind of scrolling on just to see like little goofy stuff, um, and then we just started seeing these reels of like power slap get involved, right? Of people slapping the hell out of each other, and I've seen them before on TikTok or in like Twitter and stuff, but never really knew what it was. And so my dad was like, "Oh, yo, you should do that," and I'm like, "Nah, nah." He's like, "No, for real, you should." So it kind of persisted for like a week. After that, a week or a week and a half, just was like, "Yo, you should do it. You should do it." And so I know my pops got good instincts, so I'm like, "All right, we'll do it." So I did have some jokes to begin with, and then literally the next day they sent me an email. They said, "Hey, we need your height, weight, body composition, fighting experience history." And then so I sent them the email, and then they went ghost for like 2 months. And then right after that, um, I didn't think too much of it. I'm like, all right, well, it was worth a shot. Um, I was working out. We got a call, and I normally don't answer numbers that I have no idea who they are. So I just answered this one, and it was Erica, the talent manager and matchmaker, and she says, "Hey, Nate, I don't know if you're doing anything in July 4th, but I want to get you down here to Vegas." I'm like, "All right, cool. Just let me know the dates, and I'll book a ticket." And she's like, "No, we got it. Everything's set. We're handling that." I'm like, "Oh, this is real." And so after that, I was just kind of spreading the word out to my friends and family, and then proceeding on to there. I mean, the rest is history. I went down there, made my mark, and then now I'm in it.
Yeah, no, you're definitely in it, my man. And when you did get on the show, I mean, do they have like an interview process or anything? What kind of happened when you made it to Vegas?
I went to Vegas, and they just they picked me up from the airport. They said they had someone out there that said UFC Nate Bernard power slap. I'm like, okay, pick me up. Went in a nice Escalade, drove me straight to the Apex Arena, and from there I was doing like more of like the processing type stuff. I was signing autographs already off the jump. They wanted to know a little bit more about me, my history, and then from there they just I mean, I was just kind of like being thrown to the wolves, so new to it and stuff. And I'm trying to ask for more information. And even prior to that, going down there, I'm one that's huge on like studying things before I get into it. So I was studying it, and I know it was super new at the time. And yeah, I mean, I went down there. They're just telling me the spiel, and then the day before our match, that's when we did our height and weight. That's when we weighed in, official weigh-ins. We also had and we just had like interviews beforehand as well. Like, how do we feel? Like, how do I feel? I mean, and it went great. I mean, I think it wasn't my first time in front of the camera. I mean, I've been in front of the camera before in like football and everything like that. But to be in that next level, it was kind of exciting. And then following that, I got called back the next month, and then the next month, and then 2 months after that, and then from there, I mean, it's just kind of been like a staple of being there. I've become more of a known name on there, and then even being here back home, I mean, people come up to me say, "Oh, you're the power slap guy. You're the power slap guy." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like that. I'm just like, "Yeah," but I'm a normal dude, you know. So it's cool. That's exciting, man.
Yeah, no, it's definitely some exciting stuff, man. So when you made it to the Apex, I mean, what was it like to kind of see it, and what's maybe some cool stuff about the Apex maybe fight fans might not know about?
Uh, One of the cool things there that they instill is just I mean, as soon as you walk in, I mean, everything's super official. You go in, and then they have you sign your forms and stuff, and then after that, I mean, it's straight media, 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 media. And then after that, I was kind of a little downtime from the media while they're getting some of the other guys set. I was able to like give myself a little tour around, and then I'm looking on the wall, and you see all the greats of the Ultimate Fighter seasons, right? And you see Team Lesnar, right? You see his jersey on the wall. You see Jones on the wall. You see the Iceman on the wall, and like things like that. It was exciting. It was cool, and I'm familiar with UFC, but I haven't been like all in there like a fan like that. I have some of my favorites, but I mean, now being a part of it, I've obviously become more involved with it. I was able to look at the little gym that they had there, and I mean, that was exciting itself. They took us through a few tests. We hit the hit block to measure our power. We also did some neck measurements to see how much force and strength that we have and resistance. And then following the apex, there was right next door is the PI, the Performance Institute, and there is where all of the greats have trained. You see on the wall Conor McGregor already. You see Bad Bone Jones. You see all these guys, and I mean, I was fortunate enough to be there at the time where Hill was there. He was training. He hopped in, and I mean, I'm just trying to keep to myself, man. I don't know. I know these guys are making more than me, so I'm just trying to keep to myself, get my workout in. But it was super humbling, super exciting to be there, and just the environment. Everyone is super nice, very respectful. Um, but everyone's about business, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's definitely pretty cool that you ended up meeting Jamal Hill and stuff. Now, obviously, with you being a pretty big athletic dude, I mean, what would you kind of do in the gym for your strength and conditioning?
Um, Primarily right now, I mean, my lifts and all of that is more strength, like sourced towards powerlifting. Okay, so I've been huge on deadlifts, the three main deadlifts, squats, bench. But now that power slap is becoming a thing more so in my life. My training has involved for neck training, especially make sure my traps, my back is all right, make sure my shoulders are good, as well as I've been noticing while squatting, just the depth that I have, being able to get super low and explode out when I slap. That's been a new one. Um, but that's also kind of been almost an innate thing just because of football and having to be low, playing as a D lineman. So a lot of the training there's been some new things that have been involved, but a lot of it's just been things that I've just been up to.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. That makes sense. Now, I had another power slap guy on, and he mentioned to me that he believes power slap is safer than football. With you doing both, what do you think about that comment?
Um, I mean, honestly, I'd say any sport like in this degree, there's going to be some danger and some elements of danger. I personally think that power slap itself has more clearly it has more like trauma and action towards the head and everything like that. There's a lot more. I mean, you're defenseless. You don't have a split second to you know adjust your alignment or anything like that. It's right there, mano a mano. You're taking on another guy. Football, in the sense, when I was a D lineman, you're able to have a quick reaction second. You have a few seconds rather to make those split decisions, whether you're hitting high or hitting low. So I'd say in both senses, danger comes with all these sports of physical. But when it comes to this, it's just I don't know. I wouldn't say it's as dangerous as that. I mean, I've been in the trenches. I know what it is, so I'm not particularly worried. There are some guys that get laid out though, and I mean that's a scary part of it. But I think that's just what comes with the nature of it.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some guys get laid out 100%. It's definitely a wild sport, man. And
Yeah.
another thing I was curious about as well too. I mean, have you had any street fights or anything like that? Is this maybe your first time? I mean, talk to us more about that kind of stuff.
Never had like any professional or like been involved with fights, but so I do security, and I've been in fights before, and I mean that's nothing. I mean the fights before in security in downtown Buffalo. I mean it's you versus someone else, just like how Power Slap is. But in this sense, you don't know what the deal is. Power Slap is a little more regulated than right on the street. Them folk trying to kill your ass. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
uh I mean I've had fights in that nature, but other than that, no, I kind of just kind of keep cool, man.
Fair enough. No, that's good. I can't see many people mess with you. You're a big guy. You know what I mean? And
Thank you.
another thing I'm curious about too, man, is you were living in Africa for like 2 years. Talk a little bit more about that and what that experience was all like.
Oh man, it was a blessing. So right out of high school, I had a few scholarship offers to go play football at Utah State, BYU, and Utah State was my father's alma mater. I wanted to go there, but I also with my church, I did 2 years 2 year mission trip, and what that entails is spreading the good word, building homes, irrigation systems, schools, houses, everything of that. And it was kind of do one or the other because I knew if I was going to do football, I probably wouldn't have the chance to go and do that mission trip. And I knew football was still going to be in my life in some way or another. So I'm like, let me go on my mission trip. So deferred the scholarships, headed to Los Angeles to begin with, for just while waiting for my visa. And then I was still doing humanitarian work over there. Then, as soon as I got my visa, I went to Zambia and Malawi for the rest of the 2 years. And dude, it was the most, I say this to this day, it was the most humbling 2 years of my life. I mean, you're in a third world country where, you know, you think homelessness and poverty is such a stricken thing here in the United States, but there, that is just a normal day of life. Um, but being there, it was super humbling. I mean, I went there, I was 240 pounds, and just living as the people do, walking around. I think the lowest weight I got was like 173. But I was a shell of myself. But it really I really had to hone in and lean into my faith, in God, and it was just an exceptional time to just be selfless, for 2 years, not worry about myself, but care for others. So it was cool, man.
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds awesome, man. And when you're not training and everything, I mean, what else do you kind of like to do outside of power slap?
Normally when I'm not training, I just like to, I just be hanging around. I'd be hanging around the house. I love to work out always. I mean, I think that's just a huge, yeah, it's just an escape. I love working out. Love, bettering myself. But besides that, I mean, I don't know. I'd be fishing. I'd be just driving around. I keep it. I'm pretty vanilla, man. I'm vanilla. I like to do just like little quirky stuff, go kayaking or like bowling or stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much my life.
I like it. I like it. Fair enough. It's all good. And I also heard you were doing a little bit of charity work as well too. Can you talk a little more about how you got into that?
Yeah. So I, right out of high school, I've right out of high school, or just before I graduated high school, I was part of Scouts, and so I did an Eagle project. And for my Eagle project, I teamed up with the group called Souls for Souls, and their primary objective is to collect shoes of any nature, whether they're old, new, If they're battered, that's fine, just as long as they're still wearable. And we were able to collect. I had like a goal of like 100 pairs, and we were able to collect them and then ship them out to either within the states, out of the country, and just give people another pair of shoes. So I decided with Power Slap, with just a little bit of light that I have, it's becoming. I was talking to my friend, and he was telling me, he's like, you may see that you have like a little, you just maybe want to be a normal guy, right? A normal dude. But with this platform that you have, I mean, other people don't see that on the other side. They see you and they see, oh, you're on TV, oh, you're this, you're that. So they think, you're more than just average Joe. And so I'm like, okay, I'm like, I understand that aspect. So I'm like, well, let me do something cool with this little platform that I have. So in Chris or Thanksgiving time, I teamed up with former Buffalo Bill Stevie Johnson, and we did a turkey drive. And we just did a little 7-on-7 tournament, and then the winners of that, obviously got the reward, but um, donations were accepted, and we were able to go ahead and deliver turkeys and canned goods and everything to just the people of Buffalo who need it. And then Christmas came around, we were able to myself. I even myself went to straight to the Dollar Tree, just started loading the cart up, and then putting donation boxes in my gym at Underground that I go to, and then I had a few other locations as well that we were accepting hats, gloves, uh, toys, anything of that nature, coats, and we were able to donate that to two places: the Women and Children's Hospital, and also there's a single mother's home here in Buffalo that, for single mothers, and they may be down on the luck. But even with that, I felt like everyone just, needs toys. Kids need toys on Christmas. Why not? When it came to now, I thought for myself, all right, let me go ahead and take the reins and let me take more of an initiative on this role. I went ahead, called back that group of Souls for Souls, and I said, hey, this is who I am. This is what I like to do. And so pretty much their outlet is they just go ahead and keep posting about me doing it. And I also myself have been posting more so about it. And my goal this time is 300 pairs by August 18th. And dude, it's been phenomenal. I'm already at like 137 pairs of shoes, and just any shoes, boots, Crocs, sandals, or anything that can be worn are just donated. And I mean, it's just been such a heartwarming and eye-opening thing, because I look at it like everyone just needs a pair of shoes, especially the time being in Africa. You see kids, they'd be walking around just barefoot. And then, I'm living as the people did too. So I'd walk around barefoot too. I wanted to experience that. And I just look at it like everyone needs a pair of shoes. And so being able to have some little light that I have, let me go ahead and make a difference in someone else's life.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. That's definitely some awesome stuff. I'm super glad you told us about that. And you mentioned Stevie Johnson, man. I mean, how'd you kind of end up linking with him? I mean, do you hang out with him outside of the charity work?
So he got really plugged in with me, I through my father. So my father used to work for the Buffalo Bills as a assistant video director, and so I've known Stevie since I was a kid. And then I mean, going to games, watching the TV and everything like that. And then when my father then now is the head video director at the Green Bay Packers, and then Power Slap starting to take another play, and Stevie and his team reached out to me, and we sat down, and we kind of collaborated of ideas just to help more so of exposure. And he asked me, one of the primary things he asked is like, what do you want from this? What are you looking for? And to be honest, I mean, it's not really a fame thing. It's just more so let me be, the voice of the voiceless, of people that don't have it here. And I mean, we have great sports teams. We have upcoming musicians, upcoming chefs, artists, But power slap, they haven't seen that yet in Buffalo. So let me go ahead and do something different, and kind of appease the people in a way that is super aligned with my my nature, my character, and that's when we just started talking about like charity work. And I mean, it's been a huge driving force. I've been kind of charitable all my life, and so being able to do this with this platform, it's just been a blessing.
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds like a blast, man. It's definitely some cool stuff that you ended up meeting Steve and you guys partnered up. I definitely
Yeah.
glad we talked about that. And man, I was curious as well too. I mean, do you know what your most viral like moment is from Power Slap? I mean, talk us more about that if you can remember it.
I say probably the most viral moment that went crazy was my first debut against Stevie Ray Payne. As soon as I slapped him, I mean, and he went down, it was almost like a manifestation, right? I went there as jokes, and then everything came into fruition. And then I'm already, as soon as I got on the flight home, there was a guy, and my connecting flight was in Minnesota, and he recognized me like that weekend. I'm like, there's no way. And then I'm looking on my Instagram and things like that, and I'm seeing World Star posting about it. So a lot of these other platforms posting about it. I'm like, bro, this is unreal, and it's that probably was the most viral moment, to be honest. And then other than that, it was when Dwayne Crespo slapped me because they wanted to know. Folks were just like, okay, he's a big guy, but can you go ahead and take a slap? And then next thing you know, I took it, and then they just liked my face. I guess how I was just hawking them down. So I guess that's what it was.
No, that's awesome, man. Definitely some good stuff. So Dana White's obviously been pumping out these numbers, saying he thinks Power Slap's gonna be bigger than the UFC. I mean, what do you think about that?
Dude, we're still in the baby steps of it. I mean, I mean, he's a man, he's the goat, and clearly he's a genius because folks were saying that this is going to be, flushed away after 3 months, after 6 months, and then after those 6 months, boom, they say a year, and then now we're looking at a year and some change now. So it's looking great. People love it. I mean, they've just now opened. Um, Texas is now open for us to go ahead and compete there. Hawaii is in the mixture. California is in the mixture. And so him going ahead and push all those numbers out and that the views are there, I mean, clearly he's doing something. So it, we may not know, but I'm sure that we're going to find out pretty soon.
Yeah, no, 100%. I definitely think this is an interesting sport. I'm looking forward to seeing it keep growing, man. And one thing about me is I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I've been
Okay.
teaching for 6 years now, and I started when I was 5 years old. So I've been doing this for 19 years. So I love martial arts, man. And with all the guys I got in my gym, what advice would you give them to keep on coming into the gym and to get better and better every day?
I mean, honestly, to be honest, I'll look at it like you want to be a better version of yourself. There's going to be times that you don't want to wake up. There's going to be times that life gets too hectic and too busy that you don't want to go to the gym and train. In whatever nature, whether it's like how you said, or for myself, weightlifting or anything like that, you have to do it because when you do that and when you go ahead and push those boundaries and those barriers of yourself, you unlock a different kind of creature, a different kind of beast, and being able to evolve in your own self personal growth, you're going to see the changes, you're going to see the growth, and you're going to look at yourself and take a minute, hold up, look at yourself and be like, wow, this is where I was, look where I am, now let me see where I'm going to get to.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that's a solid message, Nate. And speaking about messages, Nate, it's been awesome talking to you. What's maybe your final message out there for the fans watching this video?
I'd say biggest final message: tap in, tune in, wait. There's going to be a lot of excitement here to come in the next few months. Let's get rocking.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to see you rock, my man. Thank you so much for taking the time. It means a lot to me. And best of luck with your journey, my man. I'm looking forward to seeing you and Power Slap continue to grow, my man.
Awesome. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again.
You as well.